Mm. Mm. Hey everybody, it is the Morning Cryptos, and I got a couple of things today that I want to jump into right away. The FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt from South Korea. Some interesting twists to this story, and I think a lesson for those of us who are attempting to find out what's actually going on in the world. So let's start the music and get started. Okay, so sorry, one more slug of Java. It's actually almost daylight out. I came in here bright and early to do my morning cryptos, but my computer needed to do an update, and so that took a little while. Anyway, sometimes stuff takes a little while, like practical stuff takes a little while in the world. So before I jump into whatever might be new news, I want to talk about yesterday's rumors out of South Korea. Evidently, and I just want to let's see. I want to highly recommend you watch this video by Data Dash. Is South Korea banning cryptocurrencies? He did a really good job of going to a bunch of different news sources and showing that the news sources were literally just repeating the rumors, even respected news sources. And the bottom line is, who owns the news sources? This is something I want you guys to keep in mind at all times because it's really important. The people that own the news sources are the same people that own the governments. I just need you to know that, right? And so what's really going on is a little test case to see how much news does it take to really cause trouble in the cryptocurrency markets, right? So Data Dash recommended a guy by the name of Joseph Young, who is kind of on the ground in Asia, and he tweets, and he spent most of the morning yesterday countering all the bullshit out of South Korea. In an official announcement, the South Korean government reaffirms there will be no trading ban for cryptocurrency market in the short term, and nothing is finalized, right? And his question up here is it possible for South Korean government to ban cryptocurrency trading overnight? Absolutely. Never trust the government. Is the South Korean government stupid enough to ban a market that processes 2 times the volume of its stock market? Could it handle the economic impact of it? I don't think so. So one of the things that's kind of up in the winds of cryptos right now is, who do you listen to, right? There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of idiots out there, including myself, who have channels. You can have a channel. I have a channel, and I am not a technical guy, and I'm not a seasoned trader. Who am I? I am a guy who is attempting to learn how to function in this space and make money at it. And in that case, I'm authentic, right? If I ever come across saying I know something, then it's usually something that isn't in this space. It's something like hypnosis, or the process of the human mind in perceiving and filtering out reality, which is what I've spent my life studying. Or it could be music, which I've also spent my life working on, right? So ultimately, we have to be really careful who we listen to and who we watch and who we follow. And so I have below almost every video some of the people that I trust and that I think will guide you right in areas that I don't have any expertise or experience in. So that's part of what I'm trying to share with you guys. The other thing I'm trying to share with you is, most importantly, so you understand you are not alone, particularly if you're a beginner, particularly if you're trying to learn all this technical trading stuff or trying to figure out, how to time your trades and stuff. And I am making mistakes in front of you. And that, to me, is my expertise. I'm good at making mistakes and learning from them. That's what I bring to the table. So I wanted to say that up front, and also to just let you guys know how much I appreciate you, and I appreciate your comments and stuff. And I think Data Dash is got some really good information. I've learned a lot about trading from him, and I think he's an excellent source. But don't just ever just have him as one source. I also think you should check out Crypto Grinders, and I also think you should check out Crypto Investor, so you have some kind of triangulation, so that you are going, okay, this guy said it, and this guy disagreed with it, and this is why he disagreed with it. So you can start thinking deeply, because that's how the media feeds off of the masses and is able to dish out misinformation, because most people will not do their due diligence. And if it comes from CNN, oh, it must be true. And that's the only thing that Donald Trump has ever really said that's accurate, is that most of the news is fake news. Unfortunately, most of his news is fake news as well. But the question is, how do we protect ourselves as free human beings from this kind of misinformation? And I think that's one of the number one reasons to be in cryptos in the first place, is because it does threaten the governments. It threatens the governments who are extorting using their central banks. And if you read the book, The Creature from Jekyll Island, you will understand that in 1913, literally, the world changed overnight, and it was literally a cartel, a cabal. It was a conspiracy to take over not only the U.S. government, but all of the world governments. And so all of these world governments, they're kind of working together, and the whole idea of this fiat currency, when they say cryptos are frauds, like Jamie Dimon, cryptos are frauds, I prefer fiat money. Like, that's the most ridiculously insane statement in the world. But he's a banker, right? The bankers love fiat because they actually run this whole thing. And if they screw up with their fractional reserve banking, if they screw up, and they do every 7 to 10 years, who bails them out? The governments. Well, who's the governments getting their money from? Us, right? And G. Edward Griffith points out in the book, The Creature from Jekyll Island, that at this point, most Americans are paying more than 50% in taxes. And then when you add the hidden tax of inflation that most people are not really aware of, we are really being reamed up the kazoo by these extortionist world governments. And another person you need to follow on YouTube and watch his stuff is Jeff Berwick at the Dollar Vigilante. He is a guy who has been really calling it, right? And while I don't agree with absolutely single thing he says, the more I read and the more I research, the more I realize that he's kind of on target. So one of the things we have to do if we want to really pursue our own freedom is to be educated and intelligent and articulate, and to find the sources that we can trust, and to raise those sources up and support those sources. So I highly recommend you go to Twitter, follow Joseph Young, and begin to kind of filter through who are the people on the ground who can actually set the story straight when there is FUD. So that's kind of a public service announcement, I guess, and I just wanted to say that before I did anything else. And so I want to thank Data Dash for excellent coverage, and this guy, Joseph Young, for putting out some corrections as the day went by yesterday. But you'll notice, these FUD falls are really rapid, and then it takes a while to crank back up. So it's something to remember that the human mind, bad news travels much faster than good news. And when the news media is full of good news about Bitcoin, it's like you just have to look at your watch and go, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, there's a crash, right? And any little pullback they call a crash, right? So they amplify all the negative fear-based stuff. And what is it that they're trying to do? They're not just trying to install anxiety in the population so that then the government can solve their problems with their guns and their programs and all their stuff, but they're trying to get people to experience intense emotions, because then they have their attention. And ultimately, we are entering the age of attention, when your attention is so valuable that people will start being willing to pay you for it. So one of the projects that I'm into, just to kind of be nonlinear here, and I am a nonlinear guy, is Basic Attention Token. This is something you might want to check out. I used the Brave browser, which is from Basic Attention Token, and it is kind of cool because literally I cut out all the ads on my YouTube channel, like I don't see them anymore. I still haven't figured out how to turn them off on my actual channel, but in my Brave browser, there are no YouTube ads. It's really nice. You just watch your videos. And every month you can list the websites you want to donate to with your Basic Attention Token, and they give you some to start off with. But ultimately, I think that is something that bears some investigation, all right? Because if we withhold our attention from the mainstream news media, or at least be extremely skeptical of it, I think we're going to be better off, and I think it will be a way to actually help us trade better. So I wanted to just drop that in, and so we'll look at the charts in just a minute. Let's go to Google, and let's hit refresh here. Bitcoin price warning. Cryptocurrency slump continues as scrutiny grows. Is Ripple next? Right? That's the Daily Express. CNBC, Ethereum dives as one of the world's biggest cryptocurrency markets considers a bill to ban blah blah blah. And they haven't even written they're literally considering a bill. Right? And it's just like it's bullshit, right? So anyway, let me just get rid of the today, because there were some on my other computer while I was waiting for my computer to reboot. Is Bitcoin dying as a payment option? Bitcoin is no longer the only game in cryptocurrency town, The Economist. So there's some interesting stuff, and I don't know about Jonas Schnelly, but anyway, enough news. And hopefully I didn't beat a dead horse with that, but I just think if you're going to be into cryptocurrencies, you have to be aware that this is a disruptive technology. And the banks will try to own it. Think Ripple, right? And consider Ripple, they have like 100 billion coins, but they're holding some of them back. So that gives them the ability to release more when they want to, right? What does that sound like? It sounds like central banking, people. However, again, if Ripple's down and it's about to move and I see a pattern, I'm going to trade it and make money off it, but I'm not going to trust it. And I don't think you guys should either. That's all I'm trying to say. All right, so Bitcoin, as we've seen, has gotten kind of clobbered, but a couple of things we do see here. We have a top, and what do we have here? We have rising bottoms, right? So all is not lost, right? The bottoms are getting higher, right? So this might be getting ready for a boost, or it might be doing its own sideways consolidation. We don't know, right? So I want to crank through these a little quicker than I have been. Bitcoin Cash, I'm still hopeful for it. It has what I like, higher bottoms, and it's got its little tops kind of all in a little row. It tried to break out, couldn't quite make it, but that's good. It came all the way back down. You could have gotten some here. And it may go up and come back down a few more times. So just keep an eye on Bitcoin Cash, because think of this, people. It works, and it's a lot more affordable than Bitcoin, but it's also not cheap. So, there's some good things about that. And again, I'm not a math guy or seasoned trader. And I don't really actually understand. A lot of us newbies think, if I buy a coin that's cheap, I can make more money faster with it. And some of that's true, but some of it's also our own misperception. Because if you buy $1,000 of Bitcoin and it goes up, or $1,000 of something that's way cheaper, you have to do the math on that and see what works better. I don't know. I just prefer the smaller coins because I'm intimidated as a newbie by this 15,000 to $17,000 price range, and to know that this FUD could come in at any minute and drive it down. And if you think about the FUD, who is generating the FUD and why are they doing it, right? If someone generates FUD, like a Jamie Dimon, they could literally buy it back after it falls, right? So you got to watch who is the source of all this. So anyway, enough little conspiracy theories. So Bitcoin Cash, let's look at it quick on a 1 hour chart to get a contrast. And we have this wonderful sideways range that's developing, has been developing. And if it does come down to this line, I would say buy some if you haven't gotten any. That's all I'm saying. And again, that's not to be construed as financial advice, because God forbid anybody give anybody freaking advice. All right, so, but that's my advice to myself. I'm already in this market, and I got in at about 2,400. I also got in at 3,400, right? So I made a mistake there. I got swept up in the emotion, which is a mistake, which I freely share with you. And I thought it was going to keep rising, but that was right before Christmas, and I'm so learning, people, every day. And the thing is, the only way to learn this, for me, I'm a kinesthetic learner. I have to do it every single day. And it's only through, this has now been almost a year that I've been at this, and learning as much as I can every day. And I may be slower than most people, but it seems to me like it takes a good, solid year to learn enough to not be terribly dangerous to yourself. And I'm still probably pretty dangerous to myself. So that's the deal. And I just want you to know you are not alone in being new to this, right? There's a lot of us here new to this, and there's a lot of blowtards who are talking about fast money and get rich quick schemes, and watch out for the Ponzi schemes, because there are a lot of them. So just be aware. All right. Okay. Bitcoin Gold, still doing its sideways thing, holding nicely though. I mean, the thing is, let's see if I can draw this line and then move it up. But there we go. These, both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Gold, are really holding their line. That to me is a really good sign. They're not kind of dribbling down, right? And maybe we need them to do that. I don't know. I just think this is going to go. So it's just not time yet. Dash, nice sideways range, and again we have the higher bottoms here, and we have a guy who has trouble with his mouse. We have a little ceiling here, and we'll see. It may be a little while, people. This is one thing I'm learning, is I tend to get in too early. EOS has really boosted. This is my long-term hold, and I'm really resisting the urge to move it over to an exchange and selling it today. I'm really, because I'm in profit. That would feel good. I'm practicing having that be a long-term hold for me, and to see how I feel about it, because it's going to come back. They all do, pretty much every time. But EOS has been pretty solid, and it hasn't even launched its own token yet. This is all still on the Ethereum network. So that's one of the reasons why anytime I go to my Exodus wallet to see if I can exchange it for something else, it basically says temporarily unavailable, and that's because it's on the Ethereum network. And it's usually Ethereum also says temporarily unavailable. So we have congestion. And the thing is, the exchanges are the only place you can kind of go in and out of some of these, some of the top ones quickly. And the exchanges are a problem too, because they're centralized. And one of the things I've done, and you might want to consider this, is I have spread out my stuff over Coinbase, the Exodus wallet, Bittrex, and Binance. And when I reach a certain point, I will start taking some out and putting it in a cold wallet. So you have to have some systems, and also a really good suggestion is to not be only in cryptos, right? And that's hard, because it's hard to be diversified and yet focused, right? So if there's a stock that you think is really good, like not too long ago, I bought one single stock of Tesla because I really believe in that company. But I'm a small little guy. I'm not going to buy a bunch of it. I bought a little of it. You might want to check into buying some silver and some gold. If you watch the videos by Mike Maloney, go on YouTube and check out The Hidden Secrets of Money. His company has started accepting crypto for gold and silver. So that's one way you might be able to diversify a little bit so that if all of this stuff falls apart, because the whole crypto world is an answer to the fiat world, which is a house of cards. And the whole fiat world is basically ruled by very large economic interests that benefit from war, and they use war to keep people distracted and to unify their countries. So there's a lot of shenanigans going on that the average person is not aware of, except for the fact that now it takes two incomes to barely be middle class, and every year the taxes go up, and every year your actual spending ability goes down. So if you save money, every year it's going to be worth less, right? If you're on a fixed income as a retiree, every year you're going to have less to live on, right? And that is true taxation, people. So the cryptos give us the only place in the world where our investments can grow rapidly, right? And so the thing is how to protect those profits from FUD and from external threats, right? So I think it's really important, and I think you need to start thinking about it and doing some research. So watch Mike Maloney's program, The Hidden Secrets of Money. He's a dyslexic, kind of like me, and he explains complicated ideas very simply, and he's the first guy that really introduced me to the idea of why the Federal Reserve is a scam. And it really is, people. It's a scam. So anyway, I'm not getting much looking at the market going here, but obviously don't chase a rising market. So don't get into EOS today, right? That's clear. And I'm glad one of my things is actually going up. That's nice to know. Ethereum looks like it's right back, ready to rock. And again, don't chase a rising, boosting market. There will be pullbacks. And we're starting to understand that. I'm getting that. Okay, there are pullbacks, and learning how to interact with a boosting market, take profits, and then wait before I get back in, or at least get back in a way that protects me if it does start going down. IOTA, beautiful little sideways range here. It has boosted, and it has really held its value here. So I'm loving IOTA. I got in somewhere in this middle range, so I just got to hang on, and I got to wait. Let's see, Litecoin. What's going on with Litecoin today? Same deal. This is good. We're seeing some kind of quieting down. I see higher bottoms. I don't know what you guys see. And I see kind of a bit of a double top here. That's one way to draw it. You could also draw a line down here, so it's a wedge. I don't know where to put this. Maybe here. So depending on how you look at it, and then maybe if you dial into the 1 hour chart, and I highly recommend you kind of go back and forth, right? This is not a bad time to get some Litecoin. It's come down here to support, and it's kind of held it. Obviously it would have been sweet yesterday to get some at 218, 220, but 240 is not horrible. It's not a bad price, and if it does come back a little bit today, Litecoin, it might be time, right? But again, I tend to be early. And we might have a sideways range for a while it really consolidates this price level, because it's pretty high for Litecoin, right? So let's go back to the 1 day. Zupa dupa, baby. All right, so I'm starting to get my sense of humor back a little bit. I'm serious about this, people. We have to take charge of our finances and of what we believe, and to understand that we have been lied to, and they will continue to lie to us, and they own the media. So just be careful of what you listen to. Don't believe me, just like check out the stories and find some good sources that are not compromised by who owns them. Neo, again, I have not recommended Neo for a long time because it's boosting. I took a ton of profits out of Neo, but I haven't been able to get back in yet. And it's really going up. I think we're going to see Quantum and EOS up here. And I don't know how long Neo will be able to stay up in these price ranges. There's got to be a pullback at some point. So Omise Go, let's look at that. Omise Go is doing pretty well. Looks like we've recovered nicely from the FUD, and it wasn't terribly affected by the FUD. On the one-day chart anyway, it's looking pretty good. We had enough of a pullback so that we might have some room to move. But again, pretty high, not a great time to get in unless you really know what you're doing and you're a day trader and you're in and out. But I don't think you guys are. I don't know. Yeah, not on the 1 hour chart. Really not a place to get in. So just be careful of some of these ones that are boosting. But it's nice to see something's boosting. Let's see what Quantum's doing. All right. So I got it at 51. And so I'm almost back. Almost back. If I'd had something to buy it with yesterday, I would have bought it when it dropped. But I'm okay with where I'm at. I think Quantum is going to 100, and I'm gonna, anytime it comes back and I have some extra money, I'm gonna get some Quantum. It may be one of the places that I can put profits in because I think it's a good long-term hold, and it's also fairly reasonable at this point, and it's holding its value. I mean, look at this on the one-day chart. It is just holding tight and doing. I think it's. Quantum has usually done some really nice sideways actions before it boosts, so I like Quantum for that. Let's look at Monero. Again, not the best time to get into Monero, but it's continuing to hold steady, and some of the craziness has come out, so things seem to be a little bit steadier, a little less, parabolic, which I think could be a good thing, even though that was so exciting. Let's look at Ripple. Ripple has done its boost and it's come back, and let's see. My prediction is that it needs a sideways trading range, and it looks like it's developing one. And again, it seems like it's a little bit too early to get back in, but you never know. So let's see if Ripple has a bit of a sideways range here. And if it does, I will consider getting back in if the timing looks good. What else we got here? We got Zcash. That's against Bitcoin. Zcash against the US dollar. Again, not a place to get in. Not a place to get in. But the privacy coins seem to be doing well. The more government, talks about controlling, regulating, taxing, the more people are going, fuck them. Fuck the government. I want to keep some of my money. I already work for the government half the year in everything else I do. Isn't there one area that I could just actually get ahead a little bit? It's like, but they want it. They want it because they run on debt. They run on debt, and they pay off the bankers with your tax money. And most of our tax money goes to servicing the debt. It's kind of a strange thing. And who gets the interest on that debt? The banksters get it. The banksters get it, just so you know. Okay? People read books. All right, let me look real quickly at Cardano, ADA, Cardano against Bitcoin on the one-day chart. And we're going to look at it on the one-day chart against the US dollar tether, because that's over at Bittrex, and so this is one area that I'm looking at, and we have to go to a 1 hour chart to get a little bit more data. So, not bad. We had a definite correction, and now we seem to have found kind of a solid little landing spot on the 1 hour chart. And so we have some rising bottoms. I think this might be a sign that it's done going down. I hope so. Because I'm in at $1. Boom. I'm in up here. I got in too soon. Again, the whole lesson this week is sometimes you got to wait a little bit. Sometimes, and instead of getting in while I was kind of coming down, see, I didn't want to miss out if it was rested enough and wanted to boost, right? And so that's the thing. You never know. And so, we had a bit of volume here coming in, buy volume yesterday, or yeah. I don't have any of my other indicators set up, so let's not worry about them for now. But this could be the place where Cardano kind of comes back from. So the thing is, if you look, where's the last kind of support and resistance range back before the big boost? Kind of in this area right here. We had resistance and then we had support. And now the next level, and you can kind of see how this works. The next level is right across here, right? We had resistance and now support, and now it's resistance again. So again, this is a long-term project for me, and I think it's going to be fine. And I think I'm going to look back and go, yeah, I got in at $1. Man, I was lucky, right? Because it really it's a project that has a really amazingly good team. It has good sound business practices. It has support. It has a lot of things that a lot of the other coins don't. And a lot of the other coins are just Bitcoin spin-off knockoffs that have some kind of a gimmick, right? So that's the other piece, is you want to begin to really learn which projects are the blue chip ones and which ones are the new ones that could be blue chip ones and which ones are the fluff ones, the pump and dumps, right? And that's a whole other area of study and evaluation. And that's what I'm working on every day. And I haven't solved all those questions yet. So that's kind of what I'm working on. All right. I want to go back to basic attention token. People, this is something, I basically took my profits, but I'm going to buy back in. And this is, again, I think one of my long-term holds. The basic attention token, and I literally, I use their browser every day. Check out the Brave browser. Just give it a try for a couple of weeks and check out some of their monetizing things. And you can decide to just have a certain percentage of your basic attention token going to websites that you like, or you can pick exactly which websites you want it to go to. They gave me like $5 worth of basic attention token to distribute. And of course, I named my own YouTube channel as one of the ones that gets some. So like if you did the basic attention token, you could send BAT to my YouTube channel, and then I could get totally rid of the ads, right? Or to any other channel you support, right? And if more and more of us do this, what's going to happen, right? We're going to cut out the advertisers, except for the ones that we really like. And we can just directly support the people who are creating the content that is honest, that is not owned by multinational corporations, so that we can actually support actual truth and good reporting and news and information. So that's just a thought. Check out the basic attention token. And there's so many more, people. There's so many more, but that's all I have time for today. And let's just go back to Mama Papa Bitcoin and get back to the one-day chart. And just know, everything has to rest a little bit. Everything has to rest. And I think the signs are good. Without any fancy indicators, without RSI and stochastics and moving averages and Bollinger Bands, back to my basic looking at the market and the things that tell me, yeah, this could be could be a good time. That's what we're looking at and trying to learn every single day. So thanks for learning with me. My name is Mark Shepard. This has been the Morning Cryptos, and it is the Crypto Cranker's Guide to the Bitcoin Cryptoverse, the universe of greed, the galaxy of greed and grooviness. And as Gordon Gekko said, greed is good, but ultimately, greed is all about being afraid of losing, right? And fear, uncertainty, and doubt, or FUD, has fear in it. FOMO, fear of missing out, has fear in it. It's all about fear, people. And the news media is all designed to introduce and induce and to habituate people to being afraid. And it works. It's a powerful tool, but it's also called hypnosis. And I prefer that you take charge of your own mind, take charge of your own change, so that you can keep the change for a change, and take charge of your own life, and to know that no matter what they're doing out there, they cannot own your thoughts. They cannot own your mind. So you take charge of that. All right, that's it for today. Hope that wasn't too heavy for you, but if it was, that's okay too. I'm just doing the best I can to speak my truth and to be authentic and to be honest for you guys and to be of some service and some value to you at the same time that I continue to learn how to earn all day, every day. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one. Start the music.